know what I mean? And then the music is coming in, right?
Oh no.
Hey guys, welcome back to Quarter Twins Weekly Review. I am a quarter twin,
Yes.
Joshua, and this is a quarter twin,
Jordan.
Yes, great, fantastic. We are the Quarter
That's me.
Twins. This is
That's us.
our podcast, and I'm sick. So
No.
I'm going to use all the energy I've prepared for today right now, and we'll see how it goes. So
Sounds good.
play the ad.
Joshua,
Dude.
what you up to? What you watching?
Dude, last night at approximately 6:30
6:30
Pacific
PM?
Standard Time.
Pacific Standard
In
Time.
the post-meridian, yes.
So 8:30 for me.
Okay. I went
everybody
to
knows.
the movie theater, and I saw a film known as Ant-Man and the Wasp, quANTumMANia. All right.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of Marvel Phase 5.
Oh,
The MCU is in its 5th phase.
season
Fifth season. An entire
essentially.
This is the second phase post Infinity Saga now.
Yes.
Okay, we are in
Phase 4 went forever.
Yeah, we're in chapter 2, phase 2.
Yeah.
Right? If you're looking at how Fortnite does it.
Sure.
And well, Jordan, was it the best possible opening to the phase 5 it could have ever been?
So that's a great question, Joshua, now that you ask.
I'm disappointed I didn't get a poster.
The thing about it is I've been telling people it feels like a season premiere of a TV show. Nothing I'm not going to say nothing happens. Things happen, but it's like there's nothing within this movie that is resolved. There's no character emotional conflict that starts at the beginning and is resolved at the end. It is legitimately set up only and nothing else. I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm just saying it feels like episode 1 of a TV show.
It's a pilot.
So it's okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Well,
I saw it at approximately 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, which was pretty early. I was shocked at the amount of people that were there at 1 p.m. on a Friday.
Really?
There were so many people. And you know what I forgot, guys? I've been in my phase of like going to the theater and seeing like films, right?
Right.
Like cinema. And I forgot how annoying people are. The people who only come to the theater for these movies,
Right.
and they just like talking at this volume to the person next to them for the entire movie. It's just like, whoa, could you believe that happened? Whoa, could you believe? Oh my goodness, it's Bill Murray. Like,
He was in the
literally,
movie.
these people, I couldn't believe
Dude.
it.
We went and saw Eternals when it came out a couple years ago already. And I sat next to my sister and her then fiance, I believe.
Oh yeah, they broke up.
And no, that's not accurate. They are now wed.
Oh yes, that's right.
And they talked the entire time.
Yeah,
It was
they're
brutal.
those people.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my coworker today, and I was like, "Yeah, I went to see the new Ant-Man yesterday," and she was like, "The what?" I was like, "Oh, like Ant-Man," and she was like, "Ant-Man?"
Ant-Man.
I was like, no, like Ant-Man, like the superhero. They were like, "What's that?" I was like, "Wow,
No way.
that's insane." That I'm sure there's many people that have no idea that any of this has been happening for 15 years. But
That's crazy.
I was
How?
shocked. Yeah, how do you even? I don't know.
Dude, that's like, I met people in college that just didn't watch movies. And I was like, that's like people who don't listen to music.
Yeah, my other coworker was like, "I haven't been to the theater since I was a kid," and I was like,
What?
"What? What do you mean?"
That's wild.
Theaters they've gone down in a lot of ways, but there are
It's true.
reclining seats now, guys. It's comfortable in there.
It's great.
It's very comfortable.
Some of them have like restaurants inside.
Yeah. The AMC restaurant is not good though.
Oof.
Don't even try.
Anyway, we're off track. Okay,
That's okay.
Ant-Man is all set up.
and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the
quANTumMAnia.
Wasp, quantumMania.
The title, guys. They obviously like they knew they were going to the quantum realm, and they were like, okay, what are we gonna call this movie? How can we work Ant-Man into the title? Call it quantumMania because ant and man are in that word.
Right.
All you had to do was call it quantumMania and use the font to like highlight the fact that it's Ant-Man.
Like
They were
MULA ants.
Yes, exactly. It's perfect. It's literally
They did it in the
perfect.
title card.
Yeah, I know.
They showed the
and then it's
Ant-Man.
just
I was like, oh, hey, that's the name of the movie.
to put Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Yeah.
which is already a long title.
So true.
As you all know, I hate Ant-Man and the Wasp, the movie that came before this. It's not even that I have such strong feelings about it.
Yeah, you do.
It's just
You hate
it's
it.
just the I do. It's the most it's the definition of bad. No. It's just so nothing. There's nothing in it. And I hate it.
I've said it once
just-
and I'll say it again. Until you see this movie with my dad, you haven't
Yeah.
truly enjoyed it. I will say.
I believe you.
So you come over sometime and watch it with my dad. It's the funniest movie ever. It's so great.
And I wanted to say this up top, where this movie, quANTumMAnia, fits in my complete MCU list.
yeah.
Just to give context of where I'm at for you guys and Joshua specifically. So you know when I did my ranking, I had those categories, right? I had
Oh yes,
at the
Insufferable.
bottom it was like bad/offensive, and then there was a big category that was just like standard MCU, thumbs up, good. And then it was like perfect, a category that was like perfect but kind of inaccessible to the general public, and then
Right.
the top tier is like perfection, good for everybody, will be classics for all time.
Wow.
quANTumMAnia is number 26 of 31 on my list.
Oh yeah.
It's down at it took Thor Love and Thunder spot as being the absolute definition of the MCU movies at their most basic components.
It definitely is a Marvel movie.
It's not bad/offensive. It's just there's nothing for me to care about, which we can talk about.
So I have, let's see. I have Thor Love and Thunder at 16.
Ugh.
Which is, I'll be honest, that's a little much.
It's a little
It's above
high.
Shang-Chi, which is just so far from accurate.
I have Black Widow at 16, so that's
brutal. I would probably put this as the worst Ant-Man movie. So, what is it? 31? That's how many there are now?
yeah, it's 31.
Okay, 30, 29, 28, 29, so it'd be like,
And I
I'd probably
sorry,
put
go
it
ahead.
at 26 for me, judging
Okay.
by my numbers. Is that where you
same as
are? Okay,
me.
sick. Yeah.
The first Ant-Man is number 25 on my list, and Ant-Man and the Wasp is number 31. So I am an Ant-Man hater, I guess.
I don't have them very high either. Ant-Man is 35, or excuse me, 25.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I have Ant-Man and the Wasp above Black Panther, the first one.
Wow.
and
is
Age of Ultron.
Strange.
I like that movie. It's fun.
Eternals is still the worst reviewed MCU movie, but we're
I
freaking stands.
that
I don't understand
boggles my mind, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that should be, it's the Last Jedi of Marvel movies. Like, the critics are in love because it looks so good and the characters are fresh
Right.
and new and exciting. But then, no, the reviewers hate it, but the people have turned around
Yeah.
and like it now.
Some of us.
Doesn't make any
There's
sense.
some of us. Yeah. So yeah, this is, like you said, the beginning of Phase 5,
Mhm.
setting up the big bad, King the Conqueror for some reason. So let's talk about
what
Kang
do you
the
what do you
Conqueror.
what do you know? I saw you reading. You've read
Reading what?
Kang. Haven't you been reading Kang?
No, I
Oh.
started one and then it was like too inaccessible to me where I was
Very
trying
well.
to get
Very
in.
well. Okay.
We met a version of this character in Loki, He Who Remains, and he was the guy that was kind of keeping tabs on the multiverse, keeping everything in line. So, okay, help me understand.
Okay, tell me.
Because He Who Remains in Loki was up there. He was talking to Loki and Sylvie, explaining everything. Like, I'm here keeping the single time stream. Like, all the versions of me had a multiversal war, and we cut that off and we put everything into one timeline. What happens in Loki is they kill He Who Remains, and therefore basically opening the door for all of these multiversal branches to branch out. So He Who Remains was there. The implication was that he's the only version of Kang that existed at that time when he was still alive. Go ahead.
I would like to correct a couple of things.
That's what I'm asking. Go ahead.
So, for those, for Noah specifically, because I know he's watching Rick and Morty right now, which is a touchy subject these days. So I'm just going to use it purely for information here. In the show later in the season, like season 4 or something like that, I don't remember. Rick, who's the smartest man in the universe, created a multiverse.
I never got that vibe. I've never seen the show.
Well, yeah. So anyway, he's the smartest man in the universe, and he created a multiverse where only universes where he is the smartest person in the universe exist, and cut off all the other universes from his universe, right? So in a similar vein, He Who Remains, the original Kang we see, is like the Earth 616 Kang.
Okay.
So the TVA and all of that is one time stream that is separate from the rest of the multiverse. Because he was like, screw this war. I'm not taking part in it. I'm going to back out and hang out with my boys over here. So his little universe, single timeline, he wants it all to himself. And divergence from the timeline that approach the multiverse are deviants, and they are the ones that are cut off to keep their timeline separate. So Infinity War, they go off and do their thing, but he lets it happen because it works out in the end for his final vision of the end of time, whatever, right? So everything that happens is basically Kang, He Who Remains, allowing time to exist in this path that he has set forth, right?
Okay.
So he dies, right, at the end of Loki. And basically he can no longer control actions, choices. So all of the deviants that were happening are just going to start happening. The TVA loses its ability to control everything. There's too many branches happening, and it gets reconnected to the multiverse. So, and then we have Kang the Conqueror, who is the the bad guy in Ant-Man, who is also separated from the multiverse, and he is sent to the quantum realm, which is outside of space and time, which means it's also outside the multiverse. It's its own separate dimension, but you can get in and out of it, which makes no sense. So that's fine. And I don't know, dude. It's a little much for me. The quantum realm, just because, like, I'm trying to grasp, like, what about oxygen molecules? Like,
that. Okay,
what are you
I wanted
breathing?
to bring this up. I wanted to bring this up because not only that, there is a rule that is established in the first Ant-Man movie. Okay, there's a rule.
What is it?
And I'm not the plot hole policeman, okay? But there's a rule that is set up in the first movie. When you're small, you can't take off your mask. You will die when you're Ant-Man. The suit doesn't even allow you to take the mask off. When they shrink to the absolute smallest possible molecule to go into the quantum realm, some of them don't even have suits on. They just go in there. And then they're taking their masks off they put their mask on for like a second to punch and then they take it off. And it's the nanotech. It's just like, what is even the point?
You gotta get your FaceTime, dude.
They're in the quantum realm and you can be smaller somehow. What is that? What do you mean? They get smaller. He goes even smaller. It's like, what do you mean, guys?
Of course.
I don't
and then when he's
understand.
big, he like is tired. He should be able to like grow and stomp on the entire thing.
Right.
And he'd still be infinitesimally small.
Yeah. It's just, like you said, it's just a little bit much. And Michael Douglas is just walking around bored out of his mind. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
I'm just here hanging out. Michelle Pfeiffer and Bill Murray for a second.
Yeah. So I wanted to address my greatest fear for the Marvel now.
Greatest fear. Okay, Here we go.
So
did you like the movie? Let's go ahead and say.
I gave it a 7.
That's generous.
I think it was fun.
Yeah.
Regardless of like
I'm with you there.
Regardless of like the plot holes and like quality standard of like actual movies versus Marvel movies, blah blah blah. I had fun watching it. Yeah. So like 7.
I'm with you. I gave it a 5 out of 10. But like the overall, like the jokes worked for me for most of the time. It was a fun time. So it was.
The ex-con guys weren't in the movie, which was disappointing.
That was a big miss. Yeah.
Very, very sad. My dad will be heartbroken. Ugh. Those are his favorite characters. He talks
Baba
about
Yaga.
Just that. He talks about Baba Yaga. He's like, yes, Baba Yaga.
Okay. What's your big fear?
Yeah. Okay. So you know how Thanos was super dope?
He was super dope.
Yeah. And he shows up finally at the end of the whole thing and just wins.
Yep.
Kang sucks.
He already lost.
He already lost to Ant-Man.
He literally lost.
It's like it's like
dumb.
In Star Wars Rebels, the Empire sucks. They control everything, and yet they lose to the same 5 randos for like 4 seasons. The stormtroopers are dumber than droids, dumber than the battle droids. Like, I don't get it. They're so weak. And now we have Kang, the Conqueror, who can throw people and stop motion and laser beam one-shot kill
out
randos.
Of his hands. Yeah.
But then it doesn't work. He uses the same blast on Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it doesn't kill them.
I had the same thought. What?
He's like literally more powerful than Thanos with Infinity Stones. Yeah. And he just loses to literal ants.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, well, I'm not afraid of him, right? I'm terrified and I hate Thanos. That's a villain, right? I was so excited for Kang because he's written so well in Loki, and you're like, wow, I'm afraid of all of these Kangs. If they're all going to be like this guy.
I know. His performance in Loki and the character himself leaps and bounds better than this performance in character. Like, he's just. We get some backstory where what I was trying to ask was like he is banished to the quantum realm at some point.
Yes.
When Michelle Pfeiffer is there. What's her name? I don't know.
Janet.
Janet is there. What I'm wondering is when did he get banished there, and was he who remains part of that? It doesn't really matter. I was just trying to figure that out.
I think it's separate of
a separate thing.
Yeah. Because the quantum realm can be accessed from any universe.
Yeah.
I guess. But it's separate from the time stream.
Yeah.
This time is a circle, man.
I really liked this version of Kang when he was trapped in the quantum realm with Janet before he got his powers back or whatever. I thought it was really compelling, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Right.
And then he got his big suit and his face
I didn't
shield
like the
thing
blue.
that doesn't make any sense. Why is that? Why does he have that? And then I was like, and then he's kind of intimidating, but at the same time, like you don't get any of the scale of like what he's actually capable of, because like you said, he got defeated by literal ants,
And he shows
which
fear too. Like there's multiple times where you see
yeah
him like surprised by things. And I
yeah
just think like Thanos gets kicked in the face by like Iron Leg and everybody is fighting him and he gets a
yeah
little scratch and he's like, "Oh, that for a drop of blood."
right
He's like
yeah
so cool.
intimidating. I don't know. Did you get to your big fear? Because my
Oh, yeah. So,
go ahead.
basically we already witnessed the big bad for the new saga of Marvel
Right.
movies. He already lost once. Now, sure, all the other Kangs are just as powerful as him or better, and there's a ton of them, right? So maybe it'll be cool if it's just a bunch of Kang everywhere, but the more
Yeah.
that there are, the weaker they're all going to be, and
Right.
and if they do the same thing where he wins in the first movie and loses in the second one,
Right.
it's not going to be good. So I'm very afraid that this is just going to totally fail now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I was talking about, like, in this movie, there's no like emotional character arcs for any of the characters because like Scott and Cassie are like, they kind of get paired together, and Hank, Janet, and Hope get paired together.
Mm-hmm.
And there are interesting, compelling family dynamics that are set up. Like Bill Murray shows up and he's like, "You guys didn't know that Janet essentially caused a bunch of people to be killed and let King rise to power."
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's something set up there where it's like, Hope kind of is like, "Mom, why did you lie to us about this?" But then that's never addressed again, and they don't talk about how her letting King rise to power and then her just leaving with Hank, like she's kind of responsible for a lot of it. They never really
Mm-hmm.
talk about it, and Scott and Cassie are just there to be the physical like conflict for Kang, and Kang needs. Okay, let's talk about this. So Kang needs these people. Okay, he doesn't kill them immediately because he apparently needs them for something.
Mm-hmm.
His little time traveling ship has a ball that he needs for it to work. A core. And what Janet does is she uses some Pym particles to explode it into super size, which for some reason breaks it. And Kang, being like an all-powerful time-traveling god who can create a civilization from nothing, is apparently not able to manufacture the same Pym particles that Hank Pym was able to create in like the 60s in America. So it's like
He's just too smart.
he's just like, "I need you, Ant-Man, to be small and go shrink the core for me, because I apparently can't do that myself for some reason."
But
And he's like,
does
"If you
have
don't do
everything.
that,"
Sorry, go
he
ahead.
does have everything. "If you don't do this for me, I'm going to kill your daughter in front of you." And I was like, okay,
Over and over
villain.
again.
Yeah, standard villain stuff. Cool.
Sure.
And Scott's just like, "Okay, cool, will do. Give me my daughter back." And then he's like, Kane's just like, "I'm not going to do that for some reason." He's like, "I'm going to kill you all instead." And then Hank shows up with a bunch of ants, which I gotta say, I'm at least happy that in a movie called Ant-Man, the ants play an integral part in the movie.
Sure.
That's pretty solid. Good stuff.
They were a class 2 society.
Yes.
We're not
I don't
even
know where
class 2.
I don't know where we're going with this, other than just saying I don't think Kang was a good villain, and I don't like how they set up this next phase. I like some things about the movie. What did you like about it, Joshua?
Well, as I said earlier, I had fun watching it. I
Mm-hmm.
like world building, I
Yeah,
guess.
I
This
thought they
movie,
Modoc was a great addition.
yeah, MODOK was
Um,
actually fun.
I was very like skeptical because I didn't think he looked very good in the trailer, but I think it looked like the effect itself looked about as good as just a big face can look. So,
Yeah,
and I loved all of his, especially he gets a little redemption arc
kind of
at the
cute.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, his line about not being a dick was funny,
Hmm.
and where he's like, "You've always been a brother to me, Scott."
Yeah.
And Scott's like, "What was I?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. At least I died an Avenger." And they're all like, "Yeah,
Uh,
man, totally. You're totally in. Woohoo!"
yeah. That
It
was
was really
funny.
good. A genuine laugh from
Hmm.
me. Um, yeah, I think I was impressed by the overall aesthetic of the quantum realm,
Hmm.
and I really like when science fiction things like give explanations for like it's a movie and it's like you have to communicate with these quantum beings and they're not all just going to speak English,
Right.
but you can go the route where it's just like, oh, everybody speaks English and we don't really address it, but they have a mechanism for like understanding each other, which I thought was cool.
Drink the goo.
Drink the goo. And I really like
Oh.
when otherworldly places have like similar things like spaceships, but the spaceships in the quantum realm are like gross, gooey, like living creatures that you have to like stick your hands into their orifices to
Yeah.
fly the ship. I just think that's creative. They
Mhm.
took the creative route instead of just being like, oh, it's a spaceship from Sakaar that the Chancellor drove around or something like that.
Yeah. It's well done. I think, as you said, the aesthetic.
Yeah.
It. I wouldn't even say that it's world building because none of it is like this is called this,
Yeah.
right? It's kind of like here we are. This is it. You know, it's not.
Right.
It's not ironed out. It's just kind of like here's a dude with a magnifying glass for a head, or this guy looks like
Yeah.
broccoli. You know,
Yeah.
let's have fun
Cool.
with that.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun to see them be creative with that kind of stuff, which I like. I thought Jonathan Majors was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I think he his writing, the writing for him in Loki was perfect. His monologue is amazing, phenomenal, perfect, 10 out of 10.
Right.
I don't know if the writer was different for his lines in this movie, but I feel like that
Yeah.
needs to be consistent for his character throughout because he is more than an Ant-Man villain, right? This is
Yeah.
this is the
Should
guy
be.
that is a new guy, right? This is the big
Yeah.
bad. And so I feel like he needs to be better than he was, which is just disappointing.
And I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I don't want to see like every movie in Phase 5 is fighting a different Kang. Like, don't do that.
That'd be kind of funny, but
I
I don't
just
think
don't.
that'll happen.
I don't know. I think I don't know what because there's an Avengers movie called The Kang Dynasty down the
Mhm.
road, so they'll probably just save all of this for that. Loki season 2 is going to deal with it, I assume,
Sure.
which we got a little teaser for, which was cool. The very end.
Got a new
Um,
Guardians of the Galaxy trailer,
oh,
right?
did you?
Didn't we?
Oh, yeah, it was the Super Bowl trailer.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
yeah, but it's a great trailer, dude. That movie looks great.
Dude, it's gonna be the best MCU movie.
I know. I think
Guardians one,
like
two, three.
for me, like the past Marvel's pretty 50-50 for me. Like Far From Home, I didn't love. Well, Thor: Love and Thunder, I didn't love. Oh, Far From Home, I didn't love. Multiverse of Madness, I loved. Love and Thunder, I hated. Wakanda Forever, I loved. This movie, I didn't love. So
Mm.
Guardians of the Galaxy, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah, there you go. It's
Great.
just all lined up.
The Marvels got delayed, which is a
Dude.
bummer, but we got a poster.
But the poster looks so good.
I think it's great to delay your movies, Marvel, because you
Oh.
rush everything. So
Oh yes. Okay.
give it more time to cook.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to push back on your 50-50 theory because I think Phase 4 is actually a lot better than people say it is. People don't like Phase 4 because there's no Avenger movie, and they didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder. But like, you got to look at all of the movies in the whole thing.
I was
right?
just saying, like recently.
Okay.
Since pandemic, the things that have come out, the movies that have come out.
I see.
But yes, I know what you mean.
Phase
4. I mean, Phase 4 is huge, and there's so much in it to talk about.
If you're counting all the TV shows too,
right? Which are mostly really good.
Yeah, but Phase 4 is fire, guys. All right.
There's
like 2 movies that are bad, and there's 2 movies that are bad in every phase.
Yeah.
So people need to stop saying that the Marvel universe is dead.
This would be like, because phases 1 through 3 of the Infinity Saga, this would be like if Thanos was the main villain in like Iron Man 3, like the first movie of Phase 2. If Thanos like went against Iron Man and got killed immediately, like that's this vibe, and
that's where I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, but hopefully they focus on smaller stories after this, and then just.
I think the Marvels might be.
Yeah,
hopefully,
I hope so.
Dude, if that movie is good, it's gonna be. I'm so happy.
Yeah,
because Miss Marvel's like my favorite right now.
Yeah, give Brie Larson a good movie, man.
Seriously,
her and those other 2. Good. So
overall,
it's pretty good.
It's fun. But it's not good.
No. There's 2. I won't go back to it very often, I don't think. There's there's nothing, I don't connect with there's nothing emotionally impactful in it. Like, they could have made it, which the trailer kind of pitches it as like, Scott is, they pitch it as Kang is giving Scott the option to choose more time with Cassie, like to go back before the snap and live his life with Cassie, make up for the 5 years that he missed.
Right.
And that's the choice that he has to make. That's kind of what the trailer kind of makes you think is going to happen. And in this, it's just like, give me that ball or I'm going to kill her. And he's like, cool.
Sure.
Like, there could have been so much. We haven't seen Scott really interact with Cassie since the snap. He has his one little scene with her in Endgame. But there's an interesting story there of a father who missed 5 years of his daughter's life. Like, what does he do to compensate for that? How does she react to that? And there's really tiny moments of that, ant-sized, you might say.
Oh,
but
I
just feel like there's nothing with Scott and Hope. Their relationship is literally nothing.
I love
there's nothing with Janet and Hank. There's nothing with Janet and Hope. There's just there's no character.
Yeah, there's more with MODOK and Cassie than most of the other characters.
Exactly. So it just that's why I'm saying it feels like the season premiere of the show that you want to watch, because it's all set up like, okay, cool, let's see what the rest of the season's like, but didn't do it.
And I can't speak for the comics and how Kang the Conqueror exists in anything. But I feel like Ant-Man may have been the worst choice to face him first. Just because, if it was the Guardians of the Galaxy and we had this wacky stuff and Kang showed up, it could kind of feel like the first one where he's super serious, but they're all goofy and everything around them is goofy. Yeah. And it could have been fun. But I just think Ant-Man is, the worst possible choice.
Yeah. And at the end... when I did appreciate the fact that at the end, Kang kind of is at a low power level, and Ant-Man, he breaks Ant-Man's suit, so Ant-Man can't shrink or get big. And so they're just duking it out fist to fist. And I did appreciate that Jonathan Majors just freaking wipes the floor with him.
Yeah.
Scott gets a couple hits in, but he just freaking hands him his lunch. And I appreciated that.
He's getting ready for Creed 3.
Yeah, which that movie looks great. Holy cow. But yeah, and then Hope just comes in and they push him into a thing and shrinks him down even smaller, which apparently kills him, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the post-credit scene, the other Kangs are like, oh, that guy's dead. We can hang out now.
For sure.
Super weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
We'll see.
Anyway, it's fine. Watch it on Disney Plus in like 3 weeks when it comes out.
3 weeks.
I want to talk
Okay.
about the trailer for the Flash movie that came out. Because
Oh.
I watched that, and I've watched it many times since then. Did you watch it? Have you seen this trailer?
I saw the preview last night, yeah.
Okay.
Against
Well,
my will.
here's my take. It looks so freaking incredible. I'm so excited for the movie.
I cannot believe it, dude.
I just like, as somebody who has seen all the DC movies, okay, it looks, and I hate to say it because I don't want to support the main actor in it, at all. And it's shocking that they're still releasing this movie, seeing as they are a literal criminal that should be in jail. And they're all apparently cool with it.
Didn't he literally kidnap a minor?
I think that is the case. Definitely assaulted multiple people and has like 6 or 7 restraining orders out on him in the state of Hawaii.
Yeah, it's not good.
Anyway, it just looks so good. And here's the thing, like, it looks really dumb, but dude, it looks so fun. Like I talked about this when we talked about Andor. Like, I like having both sides of the spectrum, like super serious movies like the Batman, which is, I mean, it's a little bit goofy because it's Batman, but like you can have like dark, serious stuff. But I also like when you can just have just absolute comic book goofiness and bring Michael Keaton back for no reason other than the fact that he's Michael Keaton. And it's colorful and it looks cool, and Supergirl looks dope, and they're bringing back Zod, which I didn't know until this.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon, who's the best part of the entire DCEU. It just looks like a whole lot of fun, and I am so excited for it. Hopefully, like, I wasn't excited about it until this trailer. This trailer really pulled me in.
Dude, it's going to be a Phantom Menace, dude. The movie's going to suck.
We're getting Ben Affleck content, which I've always liked him as Batman. It's just he hasn't gotten to do anything cool.
What about the parts where he shoots guns?
I like, what I'm saying is I like Ben Affleck, the idea of him as Batman, but unfortunately they gave him a gun to kill people with.
Yeah, but that was fake,
in one of his
wasn't
movies.
That his was guns, imagined universe?
Well, those guns, yeah, that was imagined world. But just in the regular world, he's shooting people with his car, and that sort of thing.
Yikes.
But yeah, I'm really excited for it, and it's gonna. So for those who don't know, Joshua included, I assume you don't know much about the Flashpoint event in the comics.
I watched CW's The Flash.
Okay.
Up to like season 4.
You have a little bit. Yeah.
So I know about the Speed Force.
Speed Force. So Flashpoint in the comics is this event where so Barry Allen's mother was killed and his father was framed for it.
Yes.
And he's in prison, and then Barry Allen gets super speed and whatever. At a certain point, Barry figures out that he can travel through time by running really fast. And so he has the idea to go back in time and save his mother from dying. When he does this, it alters the universe, and he comes back, and the world is at war. Aquaman and Atlantis are at war with Wonder Woman and Themyscira. Batman, the origin of Batman is kind of reversed. Instead of the criminal shooting Thomas and Martha, he shoots Martha and Bruce, and Thomas Wayne becomes a Batman that is like infinitely more like hardcore and vengeful. So he's really mean. And in this universe, Superman lands on Earth as a baby, but instead of Ma and Pa Kent finding him, the American government find him and put him in a prison basically for his entire life.
Perfect.
So there's no real Superman. So Barry teams up with a few people to try to save the world and stuff. So this movie seems to be like it's taking that route where he goes back in time to save his mother, Comes back, the universe is different. He says in the trailer he created a world with no metahumans. And they seem to be going the route where Zod comes to town, to Earth, like in Man of Steel, but there's no Kal-El, there's no Henry Cavill. Instead, it's Supergirl who's been imprisoned by the government for all this time. They have to break her out to help defeat Zod.
Yes. Cara
Such
Danvers,
a fun idea.
The same isn't it the same name as Miss Marvel? Oh, her name is Carol.
Her name is Carol.
But they both
Supergirl
have the last name Danvers.
Is it Danvers? Maybe it is.
I think it's Cara Danvers and Carol Danvers.
Cara something.
Yeah.
But it looks great. And it's going to end with like the universe resetting and the start of the new DC stuff.
Wow.
I'm hyped, guys. I'm hyped for it. I will be there day one.
So. Wow. I could care less about this movie, sadly.
Cool, man.
I know. I watched the trailer and definitely felt nothing.
Yeah.
There was like one shot where the two Flash's feet hit each other and the lightning is different colors, and I was like, that looks nice.
Yeah.
And that was about it for me.
Yeah.
I saw one of the Michael Keaton Batman movies, I think.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I don't know. I can't find myself interested in anything DC for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm like, Marvel's better. I hate DC by default.
Right.
But,
well, maybe when James Gunn's DC universe kicks off, we'll start watching those and we'll see how you feel.
We shall see. Yes.
But I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. How about you? What did you watch other than anything you want to bring to the table today?
Last night at like 2 a.m, I finished another movie called Made in Abyss: Dawn of the Deep Soul.
Whoa.
Made in Abyss is an anime that came out in 2019. I think it won Best Anime of the Year in 2019 in the Crunchyroll Anime Awards.
Oh,
whatever, the most prestigious anime awards. I watched it in 2020, and it's sad. It made me cry. It's how it is.
You cry a lot at anime.
I do cry a lot at anime, specifically, mostly the romances, man.
Oh yeah, they get you.
It's brutal. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about world building again.
Oh yes, classic.
And the TV show is not my favorite. I don't like it. The main characters annoy me. Right?
Uh-huh.
They're just annoying. Anyway, okay, on Earth there is an island, and in the center of the island is a hole, and the hole goes down. Yes, and the hole goes down very, very far. Okay, and no one knows what's at the bottom of the hole, but when you go down, you can find treasures and remnants of an ancient civilization. And then when you go back up,
it's a donut with its own hole.
Yes. So many holes. And so you climb back up and you get cursed. It's called they call it the strains of ascending.
Okay.
And so you go down to the first layer and you come back up, maybe you get a headache, right? You go down to the second layer, you come back up, your knees are weak, your arms are heavy. There's vomit on your sweater already. Right. Mom's spaghetti.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. You go down to the third layer, you might go blind, right? If you come back up too fast, right? It's kind of like you get the bends, right?
Yeah,
from Mount Everest or something, altitude sickness, but in reverse. And so our main character, her mom is a cave raider, so she goes down and finds treasures and comes back because she's one of the best at it. And she receives a letter from her mother that says, "I'm waiting for you at the bottom."
What?
So she has to go to the bottom. Okay. And basically, after the 6th layer, if you go up, you're going to die.
Dead.
Or worse. So she's like, I got to go see Mama. I'm going down.
I got to go.
So she gets a team, and they go down. And There's all these monsters and
Ooh,
secrets and everything, and the world building is 10 out
that
of
sounds
10.
really cool.
Amazing. It's awesome.
So you're not recommending the show, right?
Well,
Or
okay, so the show is annoying because the main characters are annoying, but the
okay,
world building and everything is so awesome.
okay,
So I would recommend the show.
okay.
Absolutely. I will say
Interesting.
you're going to see something and you're not going to like it.
Oh no.
The show is dark.
Okay.
There's a guy who works
No, I
down
don't like
there
dark
that is
stuff.
evil, and he
Works
does
down
bad
there.
things to good people.
Oh no.
And
don't you hate those
it's-
evil people?
yeah. Anyway, so you can either watch the first season of the show as a show, or you can watch it as two movies that with less scenes. So it's up to
Okay.
you if you want to watch less of it or more of it. Then the movie after Dawn of the Deep Soul, which is what I watched yesterday, is a continuation of the story. And then season
Okay.
2 came out a couple months ago, which is after the movie. So there's like season 1, movie, season 2. Anyway, the movie was pretty good.
Okay.
And but here's where this is the point I'm going to make.
Okay,
So
here we go.
I watched the show in 2020. This movie came out in 2020. I didn't watch the movie till last night. It is 2023. Okay? And when I tell you that I remembered places, names of things, names of monsters, I remembered the term strains of ascending
Yeah.
and all of these things. That's good. That's
building.
good world building. There you
Yeah.
go. Exactly.
Clear, good world
Okay.
building, guys.
If I can remember everything that happened, or like the rules and like the world itself, that's awesome. So
I can't remember Bill Murray's character's name from quANTumMANia. Bad world building, dude. It's like Christos or something like that.
It's like Krylak.
Krylak.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. Krylar.
We didn't talk about that. Might be it. We didn't talk about him very much, but it's so funny to me that we're at the point in this Marvel thing where so big names like Bill Murray will be like, "Fine, put me in it, but kill me immediately."
Yeah.
I am not doing any more of these.
Right.
He's like, he shows up, he says his lines, and he's like, "Cool, give me
that
my paycheck.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, don't call me again."
Don't even call me. When is Ewan McGregor gonna show up?
Ooh,
That's what I want to know.
He's great. I hope he's doing well. He's one of, like, he seems so nice. I hope
Yeah.
he's doing well.
That's an awesome guy. So yeah, that would be a recommendation for you.
Okay, that sounds really dope.
And
It's
then
on Crunchyroll, you said?
We can find it for you. Somewhere.
Somewhere.
And then I wanted to talk briefly about Blue Lock.
Okay.
Which is a soccer anime I've been watching.
Oh yeah, right.
It's freaking awesome. Okay? It's so dope. So
dope.
all of the best high school strikers in the world get trapped in this battle royale dungeon thing where they have to be better than everyone else at soccer and be the most egotistical, best soccer strikers that they live for the goal, you know?
Yeah.
And otherwise, they'll never be allowed to play soccer again. It's like part of the stipulation.
Yeah.
And so we follow this character as he develops his style of play.
Mhm.
And I think even for someone who doesn't watch a ton of soccer, you could watch this and like understand, because they take like the characters will stand there in front of each other, and like in a nanosecond of time, you'll watch 15 minutes of this guy thinking about how to outplay him, and like his brain turns into puzzle pieces and they whirl around him and he puts them back together and then he's like, I'll go this way.
Oh, nice.
It's so cool though. And like
Okay.
it's really well done and I really like it. The animation is good. Yeah, it's just super fun. I'm excited every week when it shows up. Um, it's a lot of
So
fun.
it's still going?
Yeah, it's season 1 will be 24 episodes probably.
Okay. It's pretty accessible to those
Uh-huh.
like me.
Yeah. And
Don't like
anime
the
is
long
only
shows.
20 minutes.
20 minutes
So,
each. That's good.
yeah. Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we didn't talk about The Last of Us episode 5 because that
Oh,
happened after we
that's
recorded.
right. Right after yeah. What? Oh my gosh, guys. What a good show it is.
It's really good. It really
How
is.
lovely is it to watch something that's good? You know what I mean? It's like, wow, this is great. I
They were in
texted
Kansas
you.
City. How fun is
I
that?
texted you right after, and I was like, dude, what the heck? They had to do me like that. Spoilers for Last of Us episode 5 if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't played the game. We have to see Sam and Henry die, which was really sad.
Yes. Brutal.
But man, that episode's good. Okay, let's talk about this. So there's a moment where Karen, what's her character's name?
I don't remember.
The Karen lady who leads the resistance and her army are like catching up with the gang, Ellie and Joel, Sam and Henry. And they're about to have a confrontation, and then wouldn't you know it, the ground opens up and a swarm of infected come out.
A horde.
And then later, just like right after, a big boy comes out, like a monster looking.
Bloaters.
They're apparently called bloaters. A big, muscly boss level comes out. And for me, as someone who hasn't played the game, I thought, well, that looks a little silly. This is suddenly a little bit more silly than it was before. But I was like,
guy.
you know what? But they like the fact, like they come out of the ground, and it was like, what? The whole thing, I was just like, this is taking me out of it a little bit. Like it's a little silly for me. But then I had to remind myself that it's a video game also. So
well, they talked about the tunnels, and they came out.
Yeah,
of the
like
tunnels.
they're in the tunnels, and they come out of. But then they go through these tunnels, and they're not there. So they've been in the ground. But like all of a sudden, there's just a big CGI like a boss level, and I was like, it was just a little bit much for me. Since just because up until that point, it had been pretty ground level, pretty realistic in quotes. So I did not like it by any means. I was just like, oh, because I've never seen one of those bloaters before. I didn't know that was a thing. So
well, in the movies, they're not like big strong guys.
I mean, the games.
Yeah, in the games.
Yeah.
They're not big strong guys. They're like fat bubbly things that spew the spores out.
Ooh, okay.
And they can't do that, so I think they changed them to be more muscly dudes.
Yeah.
But they're the same, the bloaters. The normal ones are called runners. And then you have the clickers.
That makes sense. Runners, clickers, bloaters. Are there any more? Don't tell me. I'll find out.
I won't tell you.
But yeah, I mean, great episode as a whole. You get a little Sam and Henry backstory. You get a little Joel and Ellie bonding over dad jokes. You get a sad ending with a really
necessary
emotional,
for Last of Us.
Yeah, really emotional burial scene, which was very nice. Yeah, I loved I think Bella Ramsey is just so good in general, but her performance, like when she has to see Henry, who's the young one? Sorry, who's the youngest one?
Sam is the young
Sam.
one, I think.
She has to see Sam get shot in the head, and then Henry kills himself. And her performance there, where she screams a little bit, and you see emotion on her face, and then when they bury him, she's just like, "Okay, let's go." And like you can just the way she plays it, just like you visibly see her like shoving those emotions down, and like, okay, let's go. Like same with Joel. I mean, like.
He's had those
yes
emotions shoved down.
Yeah, so and you can see him just hurting so much for her. Like you shouldn't have had to see that.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to shove your emotions down, but I also don't know how to talk to you yet, or like
Right.
how to connect with you yet. It's just their performances are just so good. Wow.
It's amazing.
Pedro Pascal.
The show is so good, you guys.
I love it. Another show that's good is a reality dating TV show on Netflix called Perfect Match. Everybody.
Oh, jeez.
I don't talk about reality TV very much, guys, but it's my secret love is reality TV.
His mistress.
And I'm sure it annoys Joshua that I can't bring myself to watch things like For All Mankind, but I can watch reality TV like it's nothing.
Man, I'm a Survivor stan, so
that's fair. So okay, Perfect Match. For those who don't know, it's I've only seen the first episode because it's releasing currently. So there are these other shows, Love is Blind, which is one of my favorite shows of all time, which you all know, I'm sure. Love is Blind, Too Hot to Handle, one called Sexy Beasts,
I'm out.
The Mole, and another one, the Circle. There are a bunch of these reality TV shows that have been going for a few years, and they've all they have their cast of characters. And what Perfect Match does is it takes a few cast members from each of those shows that didn't find love or didn't win their show or something, didn't have sex with enough people, what we're talking about here, guys. They bring them to this house, and they've all been on reality TV, and the show is just the first night you have to find somebody to hook up with that's going to be your partner for the rest of the show. And there's a game, there's there's a Survivor style game stuff that happens afterwards where you have to do little challenges and things together. And but are they gonna hook up with somebody else? Are they gonna sleep with somebody else? Who's flirting with who? It's just so much fun. It is so fun. I love reality TV so much because it's just the worst people, the most superficial people. And
That's
you can
true.
just get to watch them and be dumb. And it's so much fun. So that's what I'm recommending for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I hope you watch it, Joshua.
Maybe.
Maybe
I think we should do Survivor the next time the season comes out. A new season.
I've never watched Survivor, so
analyze it. Oh, let's watch all 43 seasons.
Wow. Yes.
It's honestly maybe one of the best TV shows of all time. It's my number 3.
I know it is. It's according to you, it is one of the best of all time. But yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and. Sorry, go ahead.
I had one more thing.
Go ahead.
Just because I want to keep this ever present in your mind, just to let you know that progress is happening.
Yes, please give us an update.
So, running the
and I'll give you my update. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for those who didn't listen to the last episode, a wager has begun.
Yes.
Between me and Jordan. I have challenged him to watch all of the Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, which is about 100 hours of content. Yeah. Thereabouts.
A lot.
And he has to watch all of that before I finish Dune, the book, and then read all of the current Song of Ice and Fire books, which I forgot to count all the pages, but I was going to. I know it's more than 2,000, I think.
There you go.
So they're somewhere around there. I know it's 4 digits. Maybe it's not 2,000. I don't know. But there's a lot of pages.
Yeah.
So, current update. Dune, the first book. I am 293 pages out of 617 pages. So, almost halfway. And so, there's a lot for me to do yet.
Right.
In about 20, 30 seconds here, Jordan's going to tell you he still hasn't watched the first episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And even, I could get to the last book, and he still won't have read or seen the first episode of Game of Thrones.
I'm not sweating yet, man. I'm not sweating. But, as soon as you... Once you start the Game of Thrones books, that might make me feel a little bit more pressure, but
Yeah, we'll get there.
we'll see.
And
what was the wager? $50?
Yes, the wager is $50. If I finish
Okay.
first, you will give me $50. If you finish first, I will give you $50.
There you go.
Basically, I'm paying Jordan $50 to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But it might take like a year.
There's no reason why. I mean, theoretically, I shouldn't be able to watch 9 seasons of a show and spin-off before you finish like 4,000 pages of books.
Basically, I'm calling you out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I need to I've started Game of Thrones multiple times, and I never made it very far.
How far do you think? Like 3 episodes?
Yeah, maybe 3 episodes in.
Somewhere around
I feel
there.
like it's ugly for the first few episodes. I think that's what does it for me.
It is.
I'm like,
it is, yes.
That does not look good.
It came out in 2011.
Yeah. That makes it really hard for me.
Yeah.
But
But
I'm a visual
person. You got to focus on what's happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Because
it does
building,
like by
what'd you say?
season, even by season like 2, it starts to look much better.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I gotta do it. I gotta know what all the fuss is about, you know?
It's pretty good. The fuss. Pedro Pascal,
He's
Bella
in there.
Ramsey, they're both in there.
Yeah.
So
Other people,
it's awesome.
I'm sure.
Peter
Sean
Dinklage.
Bean is in the whole show, I'm sure.
Yep.
For sure.
He's the main character, all right.
You will never die. Okay, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Quantum's Weekly Review. That has been our weekly review. Everything we've watched this week, more or less. Thank you all for listening and watching, supporting. Let us know in the comments what you'd like us to watch, read, or listen to next. And click that like and subscribe button. Share on social medias.
Follow us on Twitter.
On Twitter and TikTok. And we'll put stuff there.
Nice.
So we don't have anything really planned for next week, but maybe I will have started Game of Thrones, and maybe Joshua will not be sick.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Thank you guys again. We love ya. See you next week.
Adios.